We are back getting ready for our first 450 moto of the day, and this is highly anticipated. So much talent in this 450 division this year, including Ken Roczen, who is back in action this season and also was the fastest rider in both qualifying sessions today. So he has not raced pro motocross since the end of 2019. The two-time champion in this class admittedly did not know what to expect going into this 2021 season, but after a strong start to the year, he won a moto. The veteran Honda rider continues in his quest, trying to deliver Honda's first Premier Class title, believe it or not, since 2004. Here's Ken.
Come on, Fox Raceway, make some noise!
Yes, Ken Roczen to the lead.
So Ken Roczen rebounds after a tough first moto.
For me to give Honda a championship would be amazing. It's been a long time since they've had one. But it's also been a long time for me personally, you know, after injuries and a lot of struggles. I haven't really ridden outdoors since 2019, so just saying that, hey, I'm going to get the championship is difficult, but I want to be in the hunt, you know.
Ken Roczen goes right around the outside of Plessinger.
Sometimes you got to just look in the mirror and say, I am Ken Roczen.
There will be an adjustment period and probably trying to figure out how to gain some more speed and whatnot. But I'm okay with it, you know. It's all about what we're going to do with it. We're going to go to the first round and see where we're at.
How about Ken Roczen back in Lucas Oil Pro Motocross, and he wins the moto.
I also need to see where everybody else is at. It seems like everyone is healthy and going really well. So the competition is stiff, and you never know what can happen. But that's why we do it. You know, if it was easy, anybody would do it. You know, the fun part is trying to figure out how to get to that very top spot.
Well, it must have been fun because he did get to that top spot in the second moto last week, and again, he was fastest in both qualifying sessions today. So for a guy who's saying, I don't know how I'm going to do at the beginning of the year, doing pretty darn well. And last week, this deep field of the 450 class was on full display. Riders like Cooper Webb and Eli Tomac, established champions, fighting to just stay in the top 10. Aaron Plessinger up on the podium, Dylan Ferrandis with the win, and Roczen with the moto win ended up between them on the box as well. Chase Sexton very fast. Really going to be a fun day of racing coming up next.
My family's a big inspiration for me. You know, obviously this is what I do for a living, and the better I do, the better I can provide for them and our future. So it's a huge motivator for me.
While injuries ruined a promising Supercross campaign for Osborne, he's healthy and ready to defend the #1 plate in motocross.
Yeah, I'm 100% healthy now. My back was, I had a herniated disc for the last 9 rounds of Supercross. I started riding when there were like 3 rounds left, and I just didn't have time to be prepared to really race at a good level. So I chose to take the extra time to prepare for outdoors, and even then I still had some weeks off and some, you know, down weeks. So, but my back's really good now. I take a lot of pride in my work, period, but lining up with the #1 plate adds some responsibility, you know, to do the plate justice and to really go out there and battle to keep it. And I think that that's, you know, kind of my goal for the year, is to just go out there and do my very best every time and battle to keep the plate.
Crisscrossing the country, we're going to start and end in California this year. Go all the way east and hit points in between like today here in Colorado. Look at this. Awesome. We got the Lucas Oil drone cam this year. Show you exactly what this track looks like. This is from earlier in the day. And it's an awesome look at an awesome facility. And this is, again, it's earlier. And you can see how many people are here. And a nice crowd rolling in. Awesome to have fans back in 2021. We'll give you another look at the track via the MX versus ATV track map.
Yeah, you see the start there, kind of that orangey clay, up the hill, right-hander to the low point of the track, then that long climb up with the bend in it, then a couple switchbacks down, up, then it heads to the left side of the track there in front of all the fans in the Red Bull hospitality area. And on the left of your screen now, that's where the pit area is. They've changed the track a little bit. I believe riders, from what I've heard, like it. It's a little more high speed and better lines forming. So just an all-round challenging but fun track, and I think a lot of riders enjoy it.
Okay, so last week at Pala, 100% goggle riders captured 5 of the 6 podium spots, but customizing the goggle needs for each rider in the brand stable requires a very keen attention to detail.
John Cuso here at 100%. We're here at Lakewood, Colorado. I'm going to give you a little in-depth look to our talented team of riders, how they get set up each weekend. First off, Cooper Webb, Supercross champ. He chooses a more production setup. You got clear lens, 14 tear-offs for practice, 28 for race. No sweat pad, just right out of the box, ready for battle. His teammate, very similar setup, but he chooses a tinted lens, Smoke for Marvin Muskin. Up next, last week's winner, Dylan Ferrandis. He chooses as many tear-offs as you can get on there as possible, and a nice tweak to his sweat pad, just something nice to put on there for him. Up next, Hunter Lawrence. He chooses our Gen 2 Racecraft for battle, just another added goggle in our line at 100%. So you guys know we have Racecraft, Curie, our Mega, ready for battle. Let's go.
Yeah, 100% taking both classes last week with their goggles. It was Dylan Ferrandis coming up on top in the 450 class. He's ready to take his gate alongside Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, Ken Roxon, and more.
I would love to get the #1 plate back. It wasn't easy giving it up, and but that's just how racing goes. It's tough to be that guy all the time. But I have motivation to get that back and always improve as a rider and get better and better. So I'll be doing whatever I can to try to take that lead back.
My expectations are just to go out there every weekend, be there and on the podium, and really fight to take this thing down the stretch and be in the hunt for the championship again.
I want to be in the hunt, I want to learn from all the weekends and focus on not so much what I did wrong, but focus on what we can improve on.
Well, my goal for the season is simple. I just want to go out there and try to win. There is not many reasons why I cannot do it.
Expectations are to win. That's what it's all about. Want to win. We don't work so hard for second, third, fourth, fifth place. We want to win, and I know I'm super capable of that. Won before, and I'm going out there and giving my all, and that's what people expect out of me, and that's what I expect out of myself.
The Toyota Thunder Valley National is brought to you by MX vs. ATV All Out. Go all out with the MX vs. ATV video game. And by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive. Crazy at altitude. People want to take their bicycles out and push themselves to the limit. That's the thing to do here in Colorado. Or you can go motocross racing. Shout out to Cody Schock, the FXR Chaparral Honda team, the FMF Privateer Power Award winner, 15th overall in this field. Very impressive. Cody actually has a degree in CAD drawing, but putting the full focus on racing now. Really for the first time, he says he moved to California 2 years ago, and it has changed his life. Full-time riding and training. KTM keys of the moto before we drop the gate.
Well, there's a lot of jumps with really steep takeoff, so you want to try and stay as low as you can over the jumps. Go forward, not up. Get your wheels on the ground, save some time. Find good lines. We saw some of the 250 riders starting to venture out. This track, with it not being so deep, there is the opportunity to keep looking. And then fitness. I'll say it again. We're at altitude and it's hot. It's a first real test for these guys.
Here it is. Revs are up. Gate is down. 450 Moto 1, thundering into the first turn. It's Webb and Cianciarulo and Ferrandis, 3 wide. Whole shot's going to go officially to Cianciarulo, and he controls the lead. Ferrandis to the inside, takes second away from Webb, and Roczen now moves around Webb as well.
Webb tried to squeeze Cianciarulo in that first turn, and then the second turn, Cianciarulo returned the favor, just stuffed him in that turn there, and you can tell Webb lost a little ground, and then Ferrandis really good in these opening laps, and once again moving forward, but Roczen doesn't give up.
Roczen, tightrope, walking down the inside. There was no room, and somehow he stuck the Honda in there and repasses, and now goes after Cianciarulo and is in the lead.
Cianciarulo made a mistake coming out of that turn, and it just shows you get punished with these uphills. You get one little mistake, you lose your drive, and you get past. Now Ferrandis does not want to waste any time. He's going to have a look down the inside.
And, I thought he had Cianciarulo. No, and where did Zach Osborne come from? He is around Webb to 4th and challenging Ferrandis. And now Webb coming back on Osborne. Webb trying to work that inside line. There was no room, couldn't get Osborne back. So it is Roczen, Cianciarulo, Ferrandis, Osborne, Webb, and the fans here at Colorado are going to be treated to a good one.
Yeah, they are. This is what you want to see. Most of your heavy hitters up near the front, and even behind them, you've got Tomac. For him, that's a good start. Sexton, Craig, Muskin, and Plessinger rounding out your top 10. So a lot of familiar faces once again near the front.
And familiar to each other, these two good buddies, Roczen and Cianciarulo. They spent a long time as riding partners. Probably don't get to ride together as much anymore, but they're definitely familiar with each other's strengths and weaknesses. And these are two of the fastest riders in the early laps of a race. It was encouraging to see Ferrandis. It usually takes a little longer to get going, making moves on them early, but now they've settled it down and pulled away a bit. A lot of action for one lap.
Yeah, but like I said, nice little gap for these front two after just one lap. Green flag, we are good. Thank goodness, no more red flags.
Webb just keeps coming back after Osborne. Then right behind them, Sexton and Tomac scrapping. This 450 class, so fun to watch this year. So we'll watch these two, but look at Sexton and Tomac right behind him as well.
Sexton doing some real damage control in that opening lap. He was about 10th place and just passed a 3-time champ right by the finish line. Sexton has shown he's had a lot of speed. It just seems to be the little mistakes or the first turn pileups that have really held those results back. But this is also a nice rebound for Cooper Webb, who did not look all that strong last week. Looking much better here up in Colorado.
Well, he got shuffled back quickly after starting just behind Cianciarulo in second, but he is all over Osborne trying to get that spot back. And look down to the inside. Sexton, he's trying to get Webb. See if Sexton can pop these doubles here from the outside. No, it didn't work. Webb able to hold him off.
Oh, actually a little mistake there from Sexton. And then Tomac, he's going to have a look up the inside. Side by side off that drop-off.
And Tomac, can he seal the deal and make the pass on Sexton? No! Sexton holds him off.
Tomac did not want to give up on that attempt. Can he get his front wheel in the way here and take that line away? No. That's the only problem with those chicanes. The lines come together.
Hey, I think what we're seeing here is track position so critical with this kind of field. You're seeing riders who are not normally so aggressive early in the race. Tomac is doing everything he can to get around Sexton. Sexton, a little mistake entering that corner. Cuts across. He's trying to set up Webb just as quickly as Tomac. Oh, and then Webb goes across to block the line of Sexton, and Tomac almost gets him again.
Yeah, I don't think Chase expected Cooper to kind of run that high line in the turn there, but look,
oh, Sexton is there. Who's going to get the drive out of the corner? Sexton has it. Webb able to seal it off around the outside. Still side by side, Webb holds the spot.
Oh, what great, good, clean racing these guys are having. But I'm just loving where Sexton is able to just put his bike wherever he wants.
And down to the inside. Now Sexton will be on the outside of this next corner. He's got Webb this time.
That's what I talked about, staying low. You see how much lower that was? He went forward, not up, and he made that pass basically over the jump.
Well, we saw that very jump in practice. How much time? He said could be 2-3 tenths in the air on that jump alone, and it worked in the favor of Sexton. Meanwhile, it's stretched out up front. Roczen and Cianciarulo getting away. Ferrandis third, then Osborne. And then this torrid fight between now Sexton, Webb, Tomac, and then Christian Craig, Plessinger, and Barsha round out the top 10. Incredible amount of talent out here.
And this, besides maybe Roczen building that 1 second cushion, it's still pretty stacked up behind. Now Tomac, he wants to get around Webb as soon as possible because he can see in front of him Sexton starting to build a gap. Tomac likes this outside line. He leaves the braking as late as possible. Now it's going to be, can he get the drive up the hill? Little mistake in the corner there. Webb will like this section, a little Supercross-y. It's got ruts and a little Daytona-esque going up that hill.
Yeah, so Tomac didn't get the drive he hoped for on the outside of that corner. He's going to have to go back to work to try to get Webb. This is for 6th and 7th. That's how stacked this field is this year. You're watching two guys who could be battling for the lead. Right now, they are not even in the top 5. Up ahead of them, Sexton, Osborne, Ferrandis, Cianciarulo, and Ken Roczen leads them around. Pretty impressive, we keep saying it, for Roczen, really setting the bar low on expectations for the early races this year. Fastest in qualifying today and leading early here in Moto 1. Christian Craig rolling up. Oh no, that is Plessinger. Plessinger has gotten around Craig, and he's joining the party as Tomac and Webb duke it out.
AP certainly a new improved Aaron Plessinger this year. He definitely showed quite a bit of confidence before the outdoor started, which was nice to see. He said they've made progress with the bike. He's healthy for a change. He's happy. He loves the bike, and it's showing. Tomac tries that inside again. Can he stay a little lower over this jump and make some more time? Oh, over jump.
No, he skied it and over jumped that triple. Did Tomac. Shrugs that off, stays right there on the rear wheel of Webb.
Don't want to do that too often. Whoa, Eli getting a little cross-righted off the takeoff there. Uses that upper body strength, pulls the bike back. You flat land those jumps. One, it takes out a lot of energy, but it's also an easy way to start breaking wheels.
Yeah, don't want to do that every single lap, that's for sure. Tomac throwing everything he has at Webb. Hooks that rut on the inside. Now, will he try the outside in move?
Yeah, he was going to set that up.
Webb's pretty salty, though. Was trying to cover the line. Look at Cianciarulo starting to come back on Roczen.
Adam has impressed me with his speed, especially last week. I mean, there was times in qualifying he was 3 seconds ahead of the next fastest rider. And this morning, Roczen was able to respond in both sessions fastest. So kind of seeing the two fastest guys on paper so far this year. Now with clear track, be fun to see.
And then Ferrandis, we mentioned, often they get stronger later in the races, keeping them honest in third. Then it's Osborne. Here's the battle. Does Tomac have the pass made on Webb? He finally gets it.
Oh, he stayed low off that drop off there. They were already side by side, but that got him ahead. And then, man, I hate to say it for Cooper Webb.
It's happening again. It's what we saw last week.
You're just a tad off, and he's going to get freight trained here because there's a lot of talent behind him. You know, Barsha and Muskin and those guys that are just in the top 10 and just out, they're coming.
Yeah, this is not what you want to see if you're a Cooper Webb fan. Another rider putting the attack on him right now. Plessinger.
Oh, beautiful.
Got it done through those ruts.
That was smooth. That section, it looks like the guys break a lot, but when you go there, it's pretty off-cambered, that turn as well. And it's a bit slick because it's packed in, and they've had to throw water on. So got to be really brave to charge down that hill.
Christian Craig is next in line. He's going after Webb. Man, Webb was battling for the whole shot, and he has been pushed back to 8th place. And let's see if Plessinger can run through Tomac That will be the next rider on his list. Plessinger was out of the top 10 early, and he wants to follow the 3-time champion through. Back to the leaders. Every time we see them, Cianciarulo's a little closer to Roczen.
Unfortunately for him, he's getting that point now where he's going to get that roost, which we know is uncomfortable, and on the 450s, it's just that much worse with that added horsepower these machines have.
Oh, this is good stuff again. Friendly fire between these two. They're really tight off of the racetrack, but it's man against man for Moto wins, and also a lot of confidence and momentum early in this championship. Justin Rodbell, the great privateer story last year in the SGB Max's Kawasaki, had some mechanical problems last week, and it looks like he's in the mechanics area again. So summer of Rodbell, waiting to see that kick into gear. Has not happened yet. Cianciarulo, he's got pace. Can he find an opening? And I'll tell you what, if these two start battling,
yep,
you know who's coming.
Yeah, he's just lurking right there.
Dylan Ferrandis in third. Points leader and last week's winner. And don't forget, Cianciarulo and Ferrandis, they are not strangers to each other. They battled tooth and nail for the 250 championship 2 years ago. It's going to be fun. Can Ken Roczen hold on? Best through the early 10 minutes of Moto 1. But a thick pack behind him.
Hi, I'm Ken Roczen, and you're watching the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship on MAV TV.
Zach Osborne riding the ship 13th in the opening moto of the series a week ago, then was 5th, and then is running 4th right now. So he is building with each individual race. Then you can see it Sexton, Tomac, Plessinger, Craig, Webb shuffled all the way back to 9th. Barsha is 10th, Marvin Muscan in 11th. Get used to it. There's going to be a lot of disappointed riders this year. There's just not enough room in the top 10 for all these riders. And Cianciarulo, he's ready to make a pass on Roczen.
Yeah, this is the closest he's been all moto. He looks up the inside.
Whoa! Leaves no room. Actually takes Roczen off of the racetrack. He was in a hurry to get it done. He did not hesitate, and he's in the lead.
He had the first shot he had. He went for it. He fired, and you know that might damage that friendship just a tad. But at this level, that's what you got to do. And Roczen will look back at that. He did not expect that at all. It actually, I think, it caught us off guard a little bit. He just went in there, took that line away. He knew exactly what he was going to do. Go to the straight for the exit and take the line away and force Kenny to back out of it.
I cannot remember many passes in that corner. I don't think there's a common passing area, so it caught everybody by surprise.
Maybe he watched the race from last week and saw where Barsha was making passes and said, you know what? There are more places to pass on these tracks.
Yeah, sneak attack. Cianciarulo on Roczen, and what this might do is clear them from Ferrandis, because Cianciarulo could not afford to get held up. The Frenchman lurking in third. Now he's going to try to get away. Let's see if he can do it. MAV TV brings you the Lucas Oil Racing Block. See new episodes from the American Sprint Car Series, the Pro Pulling League, Late Model Dirt Series, and more weeknights on MAV TV. And these two are pro pulling each other along. Adam Cianciarulo now making the move on Ken Roczen, and this was aggressive for two buddies off of the racetrack. We'll show you how the number 9 got the spot.
Yeah, he got really close. Watch the front wheel. Barely touches the ground. Wheelies those rollers, and here he decides, I'm going for it. Ken Roczen has no idea until right there where he stands it up. Luckily, neither one of them goes down, but whoa, that was certainly a good, aggressive move from Adam Cianciarulo.
And it paid off, because you see Ferrandis was back there in third, and we were wondering if these two started sizing each other up and battling, maybe Ferrandis, Osborne, Sexton, third, fourth, fifth, where they closed the gap. Cianciarulo ended it. He went for the lead immediately and drawing away ever so slightly, but not pulling away in bunches, just inches.
Well, obviously that pass on Roczen affected his lap time a little bit, but last lap around, Cianciarulo 2:11, Roczen at 2:13, and Ferrandis 2:12. So little shuffling up in the front three there, but still pretty close on track.
We'll check in with Ferrandis now, and you can every once in a while see Osborne back there as well. Looks like Ferrandis is ready to roll. Getting aggressive and trying to lock it down and close on Roczen for second.
I like how he pulled the front wheel up over those rollers. There's several ways to do that downhill, and now they figured out this uphill as well. Ferrandis fast. That Yamaha not lacking any horsepower, so that'll really help him out at this altitude.
Ferrandis, last year's 250 national champ, wins the opener on the 450 and showing no intimidation. And he mentioned after the race win, hey, look at this though, hold on. They have closed right back up on Cianciarulo. I thought we were about to have a battle for second. Could be a battle for the lead. I'm going to go back to what I was saying to Ferrandis. He said, I'm glad to win the race because I admit I'm hard on my guys. I asked them to come out early. I asked them to stay late. And he can be pretty blunt, I think, about the bike setup and what he needs from that team. But when it pays off in the round one victory, makes it a lot easier when everybody knows they're all pulling in the same direction. It was an odd line from Cianciarulo back there going way wide. And Roczen's right back in this.
That inside's definitely getting a little rutted and slick.
Okay.
I think he was just searching to see if there was a better line, but it was smoother, but not faster.
Roczen is right there. We're already halfway through this moto. Time flies when you're having fun watching this. 15 minutes down and 15 minutes to go. You could save 15% or more on your motorcycle insurance by calling Geico. Cianciarulo continues to lead. You saw the pit board from Ferrandis' mechanic. Downhill speed. And yeah, the downhills, you can just take a risk, leave the brakes off a little longer. You can make up time there. Let's see if Ferrandis does it once they work their way back up. All right, so we have a lot more action coming your way on MAV TV. Cianciarulo leads, but Roczen and Ferrandis right on him.
Hey guys, I'm Adam Cianciarulo, and you're watching Lucas Oil Pro Motocross on MAV TV.
Cianciarulo, Roczen, and Ferrandis, they pulled away just a bit. It is actually Chase Sexton who has moved into fourth over Osborne, but it is a lead trio all alone right now. And honestly, it's not even what section of the track we're in. It's almost corner to corner who makes up ground and who loses.
Yeah, Ferrandis is really good on the uphill just before this section. He's doing a slightly different rhythm to Roczen. You can see him gaining. So if he takes the info from his mechanic and charges that downhill and then gets that uphill correct, and he was close enough, I think that's maybe his best opportunity to make a pass on Roczen without obviously Roczen just making a mistake. But no one really getting away from anyone at the moment. Even when you go back, Osborne must have made a mistake because Sexton's into fourth.
Yeah, so that's why they're all alone now. They've opened up a gap over the fourth place rider who is now Sexton. Then it's Osborne, Tomac sixth, Plessiger seventh, Craig, Webb, Barsha rounding out the top 10. Muscan, Savachi, Ansky 13th, Noren and Justin Bogle rounding out the top 15. Cianciarulo's lead, you see it's just over a second on Roczen and plenty of time. Had that Kawasaki thrown sideways. That wasn't for style points. Able to gather it back in on a landing.
Yeah, in that little part there, you can see Cianciarulo always just pulls just a few bike lengths over Kenny. That's how he was able to get close right here to make that pass when it happened a few laps back.
Ferrandis on the move, closing the Roczen. Not quite close enough to try to make the pass here where Cianciarulo did, but it's going to get interesting at the top.
Close to his favorite section coming up. He needs to be a little closer, though.
All right, 12 minutes and 2 laps left. Great racing here. Toyota Thunder Valley National from Colorado, Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. Dylan Ferrandis is third behind Ken Roczen and Adam Cianciarulo, but this section of the track might be his strong point.
Ken's also pretty good on those downhills. He's really brave. That bike looks pretty stable, but watch how good Ferrandis is here. Ken wheelies and bounces off some of those rollers where Ferrandis is doing some double in the middle there, but he wasn't close enough again on that lap to have a lunge.
Downhill is where they want Ferrandis to pick it up. That was the sign from his team. He's close. Man, that was impressive. He drove that inside line in, downhill. And that is a very technical section. We've seen some great riders go down through there. Ferrandis using it to close ever so slightly on Roczen, and still seeing Cerullo up in the distance, not too far ahead.
I think with the gap that they have over Sexton now, this is going to be a three-rider battle to the finish. But
Kenner got lucky there, almost got held up by the lap rider. And the rider moved to the right, and he's able to escape.
Every time it looks like someone's maybe just getting away a little bit, it's quickly corrected. And different parts of the track, certainly suiting the riders, or different riders at different places. This section's starting to get really rutted there. They all G out. You see the bike starting to really move around. And the riders, I don't think there is a good line in that section. It's just which one is the least beat up at this point.
Oh, you can sense the tension now as Ferrandis closes. Oh, he got held up. He got held up big time by Devin Raper on that double.
But that wasn't one of the smartest moves Ferrandis has made. He actually tucked in behind the lapper on the inside. He'll regret that one later, but you have to make decisions in a split second sometimes.
Right. Yep.
And sometimes you anticipate where the guy's going to go, and sometimes you're just wrong about it.
Let's see if he has the pace to reel Roczen back in. It wasn't a huge difference, probably about 5 to 8 bike lengths it might have cost him. And still Roczen has something to focus on ahead of him. Only about a second behind Cerullo last time around. Cerullo 1/10 quicker than Roczen, so they've been matching each other the entire way.
Yeah, Ferrandis tried so hard to get up that hill quickly, and then I just saw the rear fishtailing through those bumps under acceleration. Now it looks like Roczen's going off for Cerullo, right when we were thinking that possibly Ferrandis could make a pass.
Absolutely. Ready to show a wheel to the number 9 right now is Roczen.
I wonder if Cerullo is maybe dealing with a bit of arm pump. That was one of the things he said last week. Why he struggled, especially second moto, was arm pump. And I can tell you this track is not easy on the arms with all those ruts.
Oh, feet off the pegs.
When your feet off the pegs, you're literally holding on with a death grip at that point, not using the lower body. So possibly a little arm pump setting in.
Is it going to come unraveled here for Cerullo under pressure from Roczen? Ferrandis starting to work his way back into the picture. Spectacular racing, all 3 riders in the same corner at the same time.
And the diversity, 3 riders from 3 different countries on 3 different machines.
Absolutely love what the 450 class has in store for us this year. Ferrandis has done it. He's reeled Roczen back in.
This is when Ferrandis is usually at his most dangerous. Ooh, he tried
down to the inside, and I think Ferrandis has it. He does. That was a quick attack. Roczen trying to get him back.
Yeah, Kenny tried to counter, and I think Ferrandis sensed that, trying to keep that turn tight. This is going to get interesting.
Ooh, Ferrandis almost threw it away there. Just choppy bumps on the takeoff of that jump. Oh, and again, how did he gather it back in? Just got that front wheel in that rut.
You can't say they aren't trying, right?
No.
These guys are on the ragged edge.
Wow, yeah, he had the front wheel of that Yamaha dancing side to side and just got it tucked back into the rut when it had to be straight. And he survived that. He's made the move on Roczen. Can Ferrandis track down Cerullo?
This is where Ferrandis has definitely been a little bit better. Let's see if he can gain on AC, who's been pretty confident. No major mistakes from the number 9. We've often been a little bit critical on him about throwing away good opportunities when he's out front. Obviously, there's still 7.5 minutes left to go, but if he could hold this one off, it'll be a sweet victory because of how much pressure he was on over the whole moto.
Yeah, and he has responded. He's actually been a little quicker than Ferrandis and Roczen through this first quarter of this lap, stretching it just a little. But this is where Ferrandis has been making time as we head downhill.
See a slightly different line choice from the riders. All 3 of them picking a different rut, but then they all funnel back into that inside at the bottom of the hill, which is off camber. A lot of times that turn only really has the inside or the outside. We see the outside coming into play more likely in moto number 2.
And Ferrandis has done it. The ground that he lost to Cerullo, he's made it back. And this is in front of the largest section of spectators here. And what a race they are being treated to. Roczen 3rd, Ferrandis 2nd, Cerullo the lead. This is about as close as it has been.
Oh, it is close. Ferrandis now wants to look at that inside.
Ooh, can he hook it? A little bit of contact, slight contact. Ferrandis to the lead.
Ferrandis took a page out of Adam Cincerello's book and returned the favor. Said, hey, I saw what you did earlier. Cincerello had a little think up the inside there.
Well, Adam was using that wide line in that left-hander, and Ferrandis watched it lap after lap, and once he got the second, he did not hesitate.
No, he saw that half an opportunity and just did exactly what Adam did earlier. Just didn't really have intention of hugging that inside, keeping the line. Just gas it all the way to the exit of the turn and take the other rider's line away.
I'll tell you what, Ferrandis won the overall last week, but if he wins this moto, it's a big if right now, 5 minutes and 2 laps to go. But if he does this, passing Cianciarulo and Roczen to get it done, it would be huge. But Cianciarulo's coming right back. You know he likes to make passes there.
Here's the replay. Watch this.
I'll show you the pass here. No, we're back at it. Cianciarulo almost got it done. Now Ferrandis stands him up.
Well, this is getting a little bit chippy out there right now. That's Ferrandis trying to send a message right back to Cincerello saying, don't try to push me off the track.
Yep, and it's allowed Roczen to get right back in it as well as they slowed each other up. So we were about to show you the replay there. We wanted to stick with it because Cianciarulo was trying to dial in that same inside that he used to get Roczen. Cianciarulo's fired up. He's coming right back after him.
Yeah, Adam might be a nice guy off the track, but you start pushing him around, he'll run out of patience. He'll go after you. And like you said, I think he's fired up right now. He wants this bad. They all do.
And here's Kenny. Absolutely. He's side by side with Cianciarulo. Let's see if Adam can learn anything on this downhill section. No. In fact, he's going to get passed by Roczen. Bad drive out of that corner, and Kenny's back to the number 2 spot.
That's one of those lines that's changed throughout the motor. The inside was the fastest line. You saw that rear wheel just hopping coming out of the turn. Acceleration bumps getting pretty big. Kenny used that smooth line. You saw how he just soaked up that drop-off, stayed really low, and made the pass.
Well, Adam had been leading through that section about 20 minutes. He didn't see the lines developing behind him, and they have struck. So he's gone from first to third. And Ferrandis, what an impressive march to get to the number 1 spot. And Ferrandis has dropped the hammer. He is checking out on Roczen and Cianciarulo. They have a huge lead over everyone else. Sexton 4th, Plessinger 5th, Craig, Barsha, Webb, Tomac, Muscan, and now it begs the question, what happened to Zach Osborne, who's gone all the way back to 12th? And you can see his last lap time, a 2:21. He must have had a mistake because that is several seconds off the pace. So that's a tough break for your series champ who finds himself out of the top 10 again. And Dylan Ferrandis, this was quite the challenge, and he answered it. 3.5 minutes and 2 laps to go. With Roczen still lurking. Dylan Ferrandis, this would be a statement ride if he can get this moto win. He did win the overall last weekend in our series opener in California, but Lucas Oil Pro Motocross round 2 here in Colorado, he had to pass arguably the 2 men who had the best pace in qualifying and the early laps today. He had to get Adam Cianciarulo and Ken Roczen to get the lead, and he did it. Roczen is not far back in second, though.
Roczen's not giving up at all. You saw Ferrandis putting the hammer down, trying to make a break for it and sort of break the spirit of the riders behind him. And as much as he did that, he got a little gap, and then all of a sudden, Roczen also just digging deep. He closed it back up a little bit, and Adam not letting them get away. So these guys are all one little mistake away from things changing.
Absolutely. Give you the motorsport.com whole shot replay here. A lot has transpired since this, about a half hour ago. It was Adam Cianciarulo and Cooper Webb battling for the lead.
Yeah, it looked like Cooper Webb was going to have it, and then he just goes wider, tries to push Cianciarulo, but Cianciarulo just really, this was really close. It's even hard to tell from that angle. You could almost argue that Webb was there at the same time, and then Cianciarulo puts the block pass on Cooper in that next turn because he had the inside.
And Ferrandis was right there in third. He spent the entire moto stalking Cianciarulo and Roczen. They all got around Webb. And it was fantastic to watch. It is still not over. Roczen is still there behind Ferrandis. I'd say less than 2 seconds in it. They have pulled away from Cianciarulo. It is one-on-one now. Roczen against Ferrandis for the moto win. And Ferrandis keeps looking over. That's the second time I've seen him do that to check the progress of Roczen.
Well, it's going to be a two-horse race. These guys have picked up the pace and they've been able to drop Cianciarulo just a little bit. Time will expire before they get to the finish line next time around. So 2 3/4 of a lap left in this race. So enough time for Kenny. Doesn't have to panic. He's still got a little bit of time. But where is he strong? Where can he set up a pass?
He got Cianciarulo at the right-hander through the next section. Well, I don't know if he has a different line compared to Ferrandis there. We're going to find out in a hurry because the 94, he is on the gas right now. He continues to close.
Yeah, he charged down that hill really nicely right there. Really smooth through that turn. Ferrandis starting to make a little bit of mistakes. That pressure of being out in front and having someone like Roczen right behind you.
This is where Roczen's good. Not able to close that time. The outside not any quicker than Ferrandis.
Down the hill here, you see the lines just all filter back to that inside. Get around the lap and no problem. They're trying to stay out of that deep rut, both using the same line. Very hard not to follow through that chicane. But this is where there's some line opportunities to start venturing. Roczen goes to the outside. Is he going to cut back to the left? No, he stays all the way on the inside to this off-camber right-hander.
Well, Kenny has been everywhere Ferrandis isn't. He has found a different line in nearly every corner. Right here, pretty much had to follow him, shaded to the inside just a little bit. So he is finding running room. If he can get close enough, we could see a pass. Should be 2 to go next time they come across the finish line. This is great racing.
This is going to come down to who's able to just nail these last 2 laps. Ken, very impressed with his strength at the moment. We know in the past he's dealt with fatigue and issues. Said he needed to get his body 100%, which is why he didn't race the outdoors last year.
He's on the inside. Oh, almost came together. Ferrandis airs out the jump. Couldn't get the landing. And Roczen into the lead as Ferrandis went off the track.
That Ferrandis going off the track was because of Roczen. When he saw Roczen there, he stood the bike up just a little bit because they actually jumped that jump while leaning through the corner. So Roczen, they've all made an aggressive pass on each other now. So Kenny saved it for the right time at the right place. Watch this. Get another little replay here. He knows that Ferrandis is going to go to the outside. He commits right there, goes to take the line away. Ferrandis, you see, he just gets thrown off just a little bit. Some of the fans backing up.
Yeah. Yeah, he felt the footsteps of Roczen there, and they have to land that double in those ruts in the corner. So it doesn't take much to get it wrong, and Ferrandis ends up off the racetrack. And I'll tell you what, this would be huge for Ken Roczen. To have a late moto charge to retake the lead is a real statement for him.
And I think it's also a confidence booster of what he needed as well.
Yep.
You know, part of the reason I think he sold himself just a little bit short coming in the series was I think there's been other times he thought he was ready and didn't realize he was struggling, you know, and now we're seeing kind of the old Kenny once again.
Ferrandis not going to be happy about that. You know he's going to throw everything he has in it in this first moto to try to get back to Roczen's rear wheel.
He just railed that turn there. Ferrandis wants this. The one thing you know about Dylan Ferrandis, he is super motivated. You talked about keeping his team behind. He wants to know that he's done every little thing possible, and it's really showing. This Yamaha team must be so stoked with the progress they've made coming into the season.
Yeah, so the first year of Star Racing, Monster Energy Yamaha in the 450 class, and they started with a win, and he's doing it. He's closing back on Roczen. Roczen's got to get around the lap rider. That's Brandon Hartraff. He does it. White flags coming out.
Ken's been pretty smooth, though. No mistakes. But this last lap's going to feel like an eternity when you're riding at this intensity with that much pressure. You hear the crowd. You can hear the rider behind you. So now Ferrandis is going to switch up the line, go to the inside.
Roczen able to jump it and nail the rut, and there is the white flag. 1 second the gap with 1 lap to go. Pretty much nothing in it. If Ferrandis can grease a section in this lap, he'll be right there. If Roczen can get it right, he'll pull away. Right now, I'd say advantage Roczen.
Yeah, he was good through there. See now, just changing up those lines. Kenny, one of the most creative riders you'll find.
I think that's worked to his advantage. The fact that he had an alternative line with Ferrandis for an entire lap. He was experimenting, and made it happen. And he's pulling away now.
Well, these guys have not slowed down at all. They've actually picked the pace up. You know, all the best lap times came, you know, lap 3, lap 4, around that time. But since then, they're almost matching those early lap times.
So Ken Roczen not just answering the question on speed, where he said he was up to 5 seconds a lap off in the preseason testing, but how about fitness, strength, endurance? Look, early race speed has never been a problem for Ken Roczen, but to fight back late after being passed by Ferrandis, he was as far back as third. He had to get Cianciarulo as well. This would be huge if Roczen could finish it off.
I think Ferrandis made a little mistake, and he seems to have backed it off just a little bit. You got to imagine, too, you don't want your heart rate this high this late in the moto. You know, come Moto 2, obviously the question is still there. Will Kenny still have a great second moto with fitness-wise? Ferrandis, I think he's thrown in the towel at this point. Probably figured 22 points is better than throwing it away on the last lap.
So we did hear that Osborne went down when he was running fourth. He is in 12th, and Eli Tomac is in 11th. A season of surprises continues. It should not be a surprise to see Ken Roczen, a two-time 450 National Motocross champ, winning races, but he set that bar low when the series began. He said he was going to get better as the year has gone on, and he's going to start the year, it appears, 2 out of 3 moto wins. I don't know how much better you can get. Ken Roczen was this section right here where he reclaimed the lead. And in a dramatic late race charge, Ken Roczen claims the first moto here at Thunder Valley.
Yeah, I can see what that means to him.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the sweet victories when you work so hard under so much pressure. It makes it all worthwhile. These guys are going to have to get cooled off, rehydrated, ready for Moto 2. Those two, well, they put on quite the masterclass of a race. So fun to watch.
And you love seeing these new matchups. Not a lot of data on Roczen versus Ferrandis, because Ferrandis is new to the class. They probably haven't really raced each other much. Supercross here and there, but this should be fun.
You know, they say you always learn something in every moto. The front three just realized that the other guys aren't quite as nice as you thought they were. They will move you.
Yeah, they'll move you. Yes, absolutely. Cianciarulo does cross the line in third. It was Sexton and Plessinger from way back, rounding out the top 5. Stay with us.
And Cooper Webb wins! Webb wins in Houston! Oh, you're a 2-time champion!
I had a great Supercross season this year, getting my second 450 championship in the Supercross class, and it's a dream come true. To have multiple championships in the premiere of the sport is extremely hard to do. I feel really good at the end of the races. I feel like that's when I catch my stride. So yeah, I think moving into motocross, my fitness will be at an all-time high, and hopefully late in the motos, that's when I get going and can make some passes or get even further into the lead, whatever happens that race. So yeah, for me, I feel like this year I'm healthy coming into motocross, confident coming from Supercross, and I really want to make a good charge going into the motocross series this summer.
The Toyota Thunder Valley National is brought to you by Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on motorcycle insurance. And by VP Racing Fuels, the official racing fuel of Pro Motocross. And by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive. There's so many things to do that are fun outdoors here in Colorado. Whitewater rafting, of course, very popular in the cycling community, but motocross ain't.
At this moto, especially charging all the way to the end. So I gotta go get some rest and hopefully have some fun again in the next one.
An impressive fight. Congratulations, Ken. Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, man, that was impressive, and it was a fight for Roczen to come back late on both Cianciarulo and Ferrandis to get the moto win. We'll show it to you with this Lucas Oil race recap. And this is how they went back and forth. Cianciarulo got the whole shot, got around Webb. Cianciarulo makes a mistake, Roczen to the lead early.
Yeah, a little mistake there from Cianciarulo. Lost the drive up the hill. And then Ferrandis didn't waste any time. But watch this from Cianciarulo. Aggressive move on his buddy there. But, hey, when it's for the lead of a national, you got to do what you got to do. So these guys would remember that.
Yep, advantage Cianciarulo early. Then Ferrandis gets around Roczen. Roczen tries to get him back. Ferrandis up to second. And then he knew where there would be an opening. Cianciarulo had been going wide in a left-hand corner. He gets it. Cianciarulo tries to get him back. Great racing here for the lead.
Yeah, and different parts of the race, you know, Cianciarulo got a little left behind, then they just showing a little, I'm not here to be messed with. Ferrandis getting a little aggressive there. And then down the hill, watch Roczen gets a drive. Cianciarulo's hopping around. Kenny stays low. He's on the inside into this right hand at the bottom of the hill. And all of a sudden, he would start catching fire again.
Yep, so he's into second, closing in on Ferrandis, and here's the pressure point.
Decides to go for an aggressive move. Ferrandis just backs out of that left-hand or right-handed turn at the last minute, going off track a little bit. And Kenny pulls away a little bit.
Absolutely. Pushed back to third, comes back to take the moto win. Ken Roczen, that's 2 moto wins in a row early here in 2021. For the man in the Honda HRC machine, it's a guaranteed rate results. Lucas Oil Pro Motocross 450 Moto 1. Cianciarulo, Sexton, Plessiger, top 5. Craig, Barsha, Webb, Buscan, Savachi, top 10. And it was Eli Tomac and Zach Osborne, 11th and 12th. Let's send it back to Will.
Thanks, Jason. With Dylan Ferrandis now. Dylan, congratulations. It's hard to even think that this is only your second 450 motocross race here. What was it like to be running in the company that you were, at the pace that you were throughout that entire moto?
Honestly, that was amazing to battle with Adam and Roczen. It was crazy. That was a good moment. I think I put one of the best motos of my career. But to be honest, I'm really, really sad right now because maybe 1 or 2 laps after I took the lead, I had no rear brake. Maybe I used a little too much and he got it hot. It's really hot today. So yeah, no rear brake. So I was like trying the best I can to ride with no rear brake. It's something that I try to walk sometime on practice, so I'm kind of used to. But yeah, when you fight with Ken Roczen, it's hard. Even with 2 brakes, it's really hard. So with just one, it's even almost impossible. So I was so sad because I think I could have won this moto. And yeah, when Ken came back, I couldn't do anything. I had to slow down a little bit in the downhill, and yeah, that was difficult to ride like this. So yeah, it's like I said, it's one of the best motos in my career, but at the same time, a small issue that cost me the win. It's a little sad, but yeah, at least I didn't lose too many points. But yeah, a shout out to my team, Yamaha Racing, Monster Energy. The bike is awesome. We proved it again today, and yeah, all the sponsor, Thor, Bell, 100% Alpine Star, and all the guys that support me, all my crew, my trainer, my wife, my mechanic, everybody. Thanks.
Another fantastic ride, Dylan. Congratulations on that. And guys, wow, there you have it. I mean, he just was still able to hang in there all the way to the end.
Yeah, that's right, Will. And plenty of chance to extract some revenge. We got a second moto coming up in a little over an hour. Here's your next 4 rounds of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross. We have a weekend off. We'll go all the way east to Pennsylvania, High Point and Mount Morris, June 19th. Another weekend off, and then Redbud, and then a stretch. We'll go Redbud in Michigan, Southwick in Massachusetts, and Spring Creek in Millville, back to back to back. All racing on Peacock and MAV TV and NBCSN. Send it back to the box.
Thank you, Jason. Rounding out the podium, of course, Adam Cincerillo. Adam, good to have you back up here, but I could see the disappointment on you there when you rolled in behind the podium here. To come away with the whole shot, and then in those last few minutes there, we just saw some fade out of you. Just talk us through how you're feeling out there.
To be honest, I don't know what you saw, but it wasn't disappointment. I was pretty happy with my effort that moto. Dylan and Ken were ripping. I'm happy I made kind of an aggressive pass on Ken there. I've done a lot of following behind my buddy Ken for a couple years, so good to make the pass. And yeah, those guys had some more pace than me at the end, but I'm just kind of getting back into the flow of racing and really excited with my effort. So yeah, I knew I didn't have him there the last few laps, so I just kind of packed it in. It's a hot day out, getting ready for the second moto, but really excited to be up here. Monster Energy Kawasaki been behind me through it all, so really excited to be back here in front of the fans. Colorado, one of my favorite tracks. Looking forward to Moto 2.
You do look happy now. Thanks, Adam.
All right. Well, missed a podium last week, so yeah, he's still happy to at least rebuild a little bit, getting in the box. And again, we have a second moto coming your way. You can watch him on Peacock or NBCSN tonight at 10:30 Eastern, 250 and 450 Moto 2. So it's Jeremy Martin and Ken Roczen firing first here at Thunder Valley. But the way those motos went, anything could happen in the second half of the day. For Grant Langston and Will Christian, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching these first motos. Jeremy Martin coming out on top, his teammate Justin Cooper and RJ Hampshire in the 250 class. And in 450s, well, they delivered the action just like we thought they would. Back and forth they went. Roczen was best at the end. Stay tuned for moto number 2 on Peacock. We'll see you from Colorado.